Listen, my name's Danny. I've come a long way to meet with you. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. I'm here because I'm on a bit of a mission. I had a revelation recently. You see, for thousands of years, man has walked the earth thinking he's unique and he's special. But lately, I've started to wonder whether chimps are people too. Any thoughts?
So, how did I get here? To the West California desert. A chimpanzee called Cody, and me, Danny Wallace, a Londoner, a writer, and a complete non-scientist. Was I mad to imagine that chimps could be people too? It all started 2 months ago when the BBC put me on a speedboat and sent me to Africa, to Lake Victoria, the heart of Uganda. I'd been given a special scientific mission.
This is Ngamba Island. I'm going to meet some chimps.
I was here to discover what makes us humans unique, why we seem to be the greatest ape of all. I'd been told we're incredibly different, that we can do things a chimp could only ever dream of.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, how different are we? I mean, don't chimps have language?
How complicated is what they're saying?
And don't chimps have politics?
Sounds like a reality show.
They really
Who will
are.
be the alpha male? Dwayne, Nick, or Zephyr?
Along the way, I would challenge a wide range of experts.
Now, what is the difference between Harvey here and a chimp?
And I'd uncover some rather surprising reactions.
No! Don't do that!
But then you take something like a full-grown adult chimp. In lots of ways, it's more of a person, in a way, than a newborn child.
They may not qualify for the right to vote, but they qualify for the fundamental rights not to be abused.
If you're interested in whether or not apes can acquire human culture, you have to give them opportunity to have a human life.
Is it scary? It's what? It's what? It's scary.
It seemed like the closer I got, the more like people they became.
This is an historic peace accord between man and chimp. We've sorted out all the problems, all the differences.
The reasons for my journey were rooted in cutting-edge science.
Researchers have started unravelling the animal's genetic code.
New evidence tonight that blurs the dividing line between us and them.
We're nearer than we ever thought to our animal ancestors.
And not just nearer. Some claim that genetically, we're practically the same.
99.4% identical to human DNA.
And then I heard about this.
Now, a group of scientists say we're so similar, chimps should be reclassified as members of the human family.
The reasons for all this evidence seemed obvious. Chimps were people too. I wanted to tell the world, but I couldn't do it on my own.
You've heard of chimpanzees?
Yes.
Chimpanzees are people too. Over to you.
They seemed impressed.
Chimpanzees are people too.
We're all people. We're all the same. We're all kind of there.
What do you mean? Why are they people too?
We share 99.4% of the same crucial DNA with chimps.
Yeah.
And for
99.4.
99.4. Write that down.
The New Eden.
Exactly, the New Eden. I'm trying to sell a vision.
Trying to sell a vision.
A belief.
Rebranding chimps.
The ad agency were on board, and just 1 week later, they'd come up with some excellent ideas.
It's a chimp band, but we call them the humans.
That would be cracking.
But they'd also thought up an awkward question.
The thing about the 99% is, are certain people going to cut the cynics? Are they going to come along and go, what about the 1%?
I think the 1% is largely a fondness for bananas and facial hair. You've got facial hair. Do you like bananas? When they think of me, I want them to, you know, I want them to think Danny Wallace, chimp.
Now, with a logo and some flyers, I felt ready to take on the world of science. So I headed to the Royal Society, an organisation steeped in history and science. Today I would mingle with some of the world's leading primate experts, the very scientists who spend their days studying the noble chimpanzee. I felt sure that these same people would jump straight on board and join my campaign.
Chimps are people too.
I don't really agree, though, you see, so...
Oh, don't you?
No.
I think people are chimps too.
That's good. That's nice. I like that.
Chimps are people too. Well, yes, in the light in which we're talking about it today, yes.
Yeah?
Chimps are people too.
Yes.
I'd say it's probably factually inaccurate.
Factually inaccurate?
No.
Aren't they a bit like toddlers?
No.
No?
No.
It's not going 100% well.
I'll be honest, it wasn't even going 99.4% well. It seemed like the more eminent a scientist was, the more he'd disagree with me. Like Professor Andy Whiten, who was quite clear when I asked him what the one big difference was.
Well, I think there's more than one big difference, and in a sense it's in the brain. Our brains are 3 times as big and structured differently. And then the output of that is we have speech and language, which wild apes really don't do.
At least Andy Whiten spoke to me. Many just ignored me, or turned away and pretended to drink tea. Or they'd try and warn me off the whole project, like Professor Nicholas Humphrey.
And if I said the phrase, chimps are people too, to you, what would your reaction be?
I would wonder why on earth you were saying it.
Really?
Chimps are not people. I mean, chimps are chimpanzees and people are people. And why would you want to confuse them? It won't do chimps any good, and it certainly won't really help us understand much more about human beings either.
I feel like maybe the scientific community aren't really taking me that seriously. Which is annoying, because it's 50 quid to have these made.
But I wasn't going to give up that easily. I was sure all I needed was just a little more evidence. So I headed for the very centre of Africa.
Katie, are you there?
Yep, Danny, I'm here.
Thank God for that.
This time I brought my own scientist, Katie Slocum from St Andrews University. Katie was going to guide me into a world of wild chimps. I figured if I could witness wild chimps acting like people of their own accord, then that would be crucial.
I saw not one chimp.
Almost coming up to 6:30, so they'll probably be having their last feed and be looking to go and make nests in about half an hour, probably.
Make nests? By 7?
Yeah.
They're in bed by 7?
Yeah, and then they sleep right through till 7 and then get up and do the whole thing again.
That's kind of the way I live.
And so we were off. This is Budongo National Park, home to about 60 chimps. They're wild, but they're used to researchers like Katie being around. So they'll do their best to ignore us.
So that's Quera and her baby Caro.
I think we've just stumbled upon something quite cool. I'm not sure.
Oh,
We have.
this is a group of very senior males having breakfast.
It's like a dance meeting. Oh my God.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Look at the big fella at the back.
The big males, although they can be very aggressive and are more aggressive towards the females, all of them are very, very tolerant with the youngsters. So they'll have them crawling all over them, playing with them.
So they understand that they're just kids?
Yeah.
And kids get like that?
Yeah. Normally in a chimpanzee community, there's one male who is dominant to all the others, and he's called the alpha male.
The alpha male.
But however, at the moment, there's basically 3 very large chimps who are all battling it out.
To become the alpha male?
To become the alpha male. So it's basically between Dwayne, Nick and Zephyr.
Sounds like a reality show, doesn't it?
And they really
Who will
are.
be the alpha male? Yeah. Dwayne, Nick or Zephyr?
My betting is on Nick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll go with Dwayne.
So now Jamie is climbing on her belly. She's got about a week-old baby.
Oh my God, yeah.
You can just see his tiny head.
Look at him.
Katie's research here involves chimp sounds. She'll record one chimp and then play it back to another to see its reaction. She wants to know whether chimps are conveying meaning to each other, or, as we call it, speaking.
How complicated is what they're saying? I mean, are you able to are chimps able to understand each other's calls properly?
Yes, I mean, so, that's our assumption, is that chimps know exactly what the calls mean. But unfortunately for us, it's a bit like going to a foreign country and trying to understand a foreign language. They produce, as I'm sure you can now hear, a huge variety of sounds.
There's a huge variety of sounds.
And so it's actually very difficult to get a good grip on exactly what each of them means.
Do you know what that one was?
That was a pant hoot, so that's their long-distance communication.
Just go, hello.
Because I think it must be an absolutely key element of their life. It's just that so
Well, where
far...
would we be without it?
Absolutely.
What was that? Because they started to kind of whimper now.
That means I found really good food.
High quality stuff.
Yeah, high quality food. Whereas when they give the lower kind of it seems to correspond with lower quality food.
Now, while Katie's definitely not saying that chimps have a language as rich and complex as ours, she is discovering they have at least the beginnings of a language. But one thing they definitely do have is a pretty firm grasp on the basic skills of bullying.
They're powerful.
Very.
How powerful are they?
They are essentially 5 times stronger than an average human male. So very strong.
Wow.
So that's why when they're going through the forest and everything just bends in their way as they shake it, if you tried to do a similar thing, things wouldn't really move quite
I'm not really an average male. I'm kind of half chimp.
I think they'd disagree.
What they do though, you know, challenge me to an arm wrestle. I've got tactics.
They'd probably just kill you.
It's good tactics. So, I've had my day in the forest with the chimps. It's been good. And it's confirmed a lot for me as well. You know, when you look into the eyes of a chimp, you do get this weird sense of recognition. And I think they did the same to me, I hope, unless it was horror. It's a strange thing though, because I mean, they all seem very content here. They seem very, very happy with their lot. And I kind of think that if I lived here, that's probably what I'd do as well. You know, I'd probably just sit about eating a bit of fruit and mucking about with my friends. So it just makes me think more and more that really, in my opinion, chimps are people.
But what are people? What's a person? Now, those are some pretty deep questions that I'm perhaps not too qualified to answer. So this is where philosopher Julian Baggini steps in. He's paid to know things like this.
But I guess my question to you is, philosophically, what are people?
Very big question.